Hi everybody, welcome back. We're back now with a little mashup of great day food and entertainment. Broadway on Main's production of Shrek the Musical opens next Friday, April 25th.
And here now to tell us about the show and to do a little Shrek-inspired cooking, we have the show's director, Neil Fuentes, and producer, Billy DiCrosta. Great to have you both here.
Thank you.
Nice to be back. So Billy, you're making fun of my Shrek accent.
I don't know that it was Shrek, it was like a Russian spy.
I think it was Russian spy.
Yes, absolutely.
What am I doing? So, hey, tell us about this great collaboration. You know, you were talking about Autism Awareness Month.
Yeah, so it so happened that you guys were everything that you guys were talking about really ties into what our theater company does. So in our nonprofit portion of our theater company, all of our shows have some type of focus on mental health awareness. And we use the show itself as a tool to educate the youth in our program on things like bullying, etc. And we also have a lot of students in the programs that we do that have disabilities and such. So it really just all ties in together.
Love that.
And I just think that theater is a great way to educate, you know, kids to make the world a better place.
What a great outlet, right?
Unbelievable.
You know? And you know, when you're on stage, there's a different, you could be transported into these roles, but obviously they're also hitting and resonating with people as well. You know, so you're bringing something more to it.
And Neil, what's it like to play Shrek?
Well, I'm not playing Shrek, I'm directing Shrek, because that's a very difficult, and I could never be able to do the accent. So
Really?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
But I'm directing. But I thought about creating something very special for today. So since Shrek is green, why don't we make something green?
Let's do it.
So there is a beautiful recipe, Italian recipe called gnudis. And gnudi is basically a naked ravioli.
Wow.
So that's what we're going to make today. So it's very, very simple.
I know, you know this is a family show, right?
We're going to make it. So it's very simple to make. So all you need is a bunch of spinach, right? That you are going to cook in a little bit of water in a pan until you steam it. And then you're going to squeeze all the water out. You're going to chop it. And this is what you're going to get, about a cup of spinach.
So it really does reduce down.
It does reduce down to that. To that, you're going to add a little bit of ricotta cheese.
Wait a minute, this turns into this?
Into that, right? To that, we're going to add a cup of ricotta cheese, right?
Oh my God, that's incredible.
To that, we're going to add 3/4 cups of flour.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to season that with a little salt and pepper, of course. And then we're going to add an egg as well.
You were making this look so easy, by the way, right now?
It is so easy to make. We're going to put an egg right there. And then we're going to go ahead and mix it all together.
And Billy, tell us about the musical itself. It's going to be terrific.
Yeah, so Shrek the Musical is going to be taking place at our actual theater called Cabaret on Main Theater, and it runs from April 25th through Mother's Day. So it's a great way to come out with mom and the kids as well. This show in particular, we are doing both cabaret seating style and traditional seating style, so you can bring a glass of wine, bring some food, hang out with your friends, and see an incredible cast from all over the state of Connecticut. It is 40 people in the cast. It's a very large cast in a small, incredible environment. And what makes our show so different than all of the other theaters around that have done the show is that our theater is immersive. We're the only theater in the state of Connecticut that when you come to a show, you're not just watching the show, you are in the show. So sitting inside, the brain power over here and his creativity, he creates 280 degrees of projections
all
that are
around
all
the audience.
customized around. So you're sitting in the swamp and you're going through Duloc and all these crazy places on the journey
my God.
with all the characters.
And how fun for children, too, to be a part of that experience, right? When they're being introduced to some of these wonderful productions.
All right, so once we make this mixture, right, we make these little balls right here. Okay. And we're going to put them in semolina. This is semolina, okay? And we're going to kind of give them a little everything coated. Now, you put them in boiling water, right? Until they cook for a little bit. Meanwhile, we have a little bit of butter there, and we're going to add some sage into that. And to that, we're going to add a little bit of this beautiful water, just like that.
A lot of people, a lot of chefs use the pasta water.
Yes, to create some sort of a sauce, right? And then we're going to mix it real quick, and that's going to create a beautiful butter sauce right there, just like that. We're going to add a little bit of lemon juice, just because we need a little bit of freshness in there. Right, and then we're literally gonna grab the gnudis and put them right in there, which are already cooked, as you can see.
Oh my God, they're beautiful.
We're gonna put them right in there, and we're gonna finish cooking them in the butter. We're gonna put this really high, and then we're gonna serve them real quick.
Isn't that beautiful? Wow. So Shrek inspired.
Yes,
That is so amazing.
Nice and green, and then we're gonna grab a little plate right there.
Okay,
Thank you. now that they're cooking, to keep telling them while I'm serving this about Shrek.
So, Shrek, anyway, so it's 40 people from across the state of Connecticut.
Great.
All ages. So, again, we use our adult actors to help educate our youth actors. So it's a family-friendly environment, all ages. The youngest kids in the cast are 5 years old.
Oh, my God,
and we won't
great.
say what the oldest kids in the cast are. The older kids act younger than the little kids. But what I really will say is so incredible about this cast in particular was the first music rehearsal that we had. I walked in, and I'm a voice teacher, so I'm very picky about the music. And I walked in, and I literally looked at our music director. I was like, I said, I feel like the heavens have opened up. The voices that are in this room right now are so incredible. You are in for such a treat.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you guys are such a treat because of your collaboration. Really quick, I mean, you have been, you know, in the theater world for a while now, and you're such a well-known name, especially in our community. And with you, you're an award-winning chef. I mean, how did you guys come together and create this amazing?
So I was on tour for about 6 years on cruise ships, and when I decided not to be on tour anymore, that he wanted me back home and we were missing each other, I decided to open a vocal studio in my house.
Wow.
And to not take up too much time, it just like literally grew overnight. And so within 2 years, we moved into a commercial space with our best friend Gina that owns Broadway Dance within our facilities, and we collaborated our businesses together. And since then, we now own 3 companies. We see over 200 students a week in our organization. Plus, we now have the outreach nonprofit theater company as well.
Well, just a reminder, you can see Broadway on Main's production of Shrek the Musical. Opening night is next Friday, April 25th, and the show runs through May 11th. For more information, visit cabaret-on-main.com. I hope I got that right.
That's it.
Excellent
Go
job.
for it, Nicole. How does it taste? So good?
Donkey will love it.
Still ahead, some spring